Hey guys, if you had made it to this video, it means you already beat 99% of people. Congratulations. Let's make some money, baby. Woo! Anyways, this right here is called TradingView. This is what we're going to be doing our money making on. Now, you might be asking, how do I get this TradingView? I'm going to show you. First thing you got to do is go to Google, TradingView, look that up, and then you have your first link. Go ahead, click on that. You're going to get brought to this. Make an account. And then once you do, you want to head over, make an account, click on your thing, make an account, whatever. Head over to products and go to the super charts. It's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that you'll ever be interested in looking at. So go ahead and do that and you'll get brought. I already made my account. I made a new one for you guys just now, actually. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to look something like this. I'll even reset it just to show you. Let's just do apply defaults. There we go. Yeah, apply defaults. So this whole entire thing is native, raw. It's a brand new account. This is most likely what your trading view is going to look like. This essentially is where you're going to be watching all your stocks, crypto, investments, futures, forex, whatever you're trading. We specifically do futures since it's kind of the best. I can't lie. Anyways, I'll explain all that to you guys. I know it looks like a lot right now, but just please bear with me because this is what it's going to look like. Okay. Boom. Look how clean that is, bro. Come on. It's going to look so nice. Don't trip about it, guys. I will fix it all for you. The first thing that you guys want to do is you want to clear up this part right here. This part is so ugly. Actually, no, the first thing you want to do is pick a theme. My bad. Is this going to leak my email? Maybe. I don't know. The theme. I personally use the dark theme with the light background. You generally want to have light backgrounds. If you haven't already noticed in the trading space, people do usually have light backgrounds, and that is because they want to actually be able to see what they're charting out. If you want to use dark backgrounds, by all means, that's you. But me personally, I prefer light. So if you want to use dark theme, light theme, whatever, it's completely up to you. You head over here in the top left corner and you pick that. Anyways, let's make our chart look pretty. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is, like I said, get rid of all these ugly things on the right hand side. That we don't need to be looking at a billion different stocks. We trade one pair. Okay, so that means NASDAQ and S&P 500, aka ES, right? And QES. We don't need to be looking at a billion different things. You know what I mean? The more simple you keep things, the better it is, and that goes for all of life. So you want to just nuke this, nuke your stocks, nuke your forex, nuke the crypto, unless obviously you're already a trader and you want to be looking at those, but that's up to you. This is for people who don't know what they're doing. Nuke the futures, nuke everything, delete it all, because we'll start from scratch. Perfect. And then this guy right here, you don't need this either. Deselect every single one of these. You don't need this. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can actually get rid of the entire thing. I don't know what it looks like on mine. Let me just open it back up. Yeah, I have mine dragged all the way to the bottom here. You don't need to be looking at any of this because, like I said, less is more. The next thing that you guys want to be doing is clicking this add symbol up here, and you want to be typing in. Oh yeah, by the way, I also forgot to mention that you can download the desktop version of this application, and it is a lot better. So I would suggest you go and do that if you haven't already. My bad, guys. Go and download the desktop version. You can also get the app on your phone. Then you want to go ahead and look for NQ, which is going to be NASDAQ. You want to specifically look for, here, you know what? You're going to press plus on this one, and then you're going to look up MNQ. I'll tell you why in a second. Add that. Now you want to look up ES, press plus. You got to make sure it says futures, guys, okay? Not anything else. Futures. You want futures. I'll just say futures. And then you want MES. Perfect. Now we got our pairs, okay? We have NASDAQ as well as micro NASDAQ. We have S&P 500, aka ES, and then micro S&P 500, micro ES. So the reason that we have 4 of them instead of 2 is because there are different sizes and contracts. You guys, honestly, if I were you, I would delete NQ and delete ES, okay? Just worry about micro E-mini NASDAQ and micro E-mini S&P. Don't worry about NASDAQ or S&P. Worry about the micro versions. Just because when you're trading them, it's going to make a lot more sense because they're smaller sizes. We'll get into it later. That's irrelevant for now. So those are your two indexes slash pairs you're going to be having. You want to get rid of that thing in the bottom right. Then what you want to be doing after that is cleaning up this disgusting chart. So go and right click on your trading view, go into your settings. And the first thing is one of the most important things, your candle colors. You can make them however you want. Me personally, I prefer white and blue. It's just what I like. There's one thing that you should know though: do not use red and green. Okay, but if you are going to use the colors, then at least pick one. Don't use both of them because it's just bad for your psychology. We'll talk about it later. So pick out. I'm just gonna do I don't know, this body, borders, and wick. I'm gonna explain each one real quick. So the body of the candle is literally like the body. The borders is just the border of the body, and then the wick is the top and the bottom. So let's just say I want to make the top and the bottom like, I don't know, and each one is for like candles that go up and candles that go down. So let's just say I want candles that go up to have a white wick, and then candles that go down to have a black wick. Perfect. But it's not really good, especially if you have like a black or white background. Let's just do like, just keep it black for now, I guess. And then you make the borders. Let's just make them like both white, and then body, like let's just say up is like, I don't know, purple, and down is blue. Boom. There you go. You got some nice looking colors now. Then what we want to do, oh yeah, this thing right here. Take your electronic trading hours background and reduce it to 0, because it just does these things that's like, you don't need that at all. Believe me, you do not need that. Then what you want to do is just leave those settings are fine. Status line. I'm gonna pull up my settings in a bit to go over it, but this is fine for the most part. This is fine. Scales and lines, this is also fine. Oh, this is a big one right here. Date format. So at the bottom, you're going to be seeing, like, if you look at my mouse right now. Oh, my camera's in the way of that. Oops. I can make myself a little bit smaller just in case, but I'm gigantic, bro. I guess if you look at my mouse on the right hand side, you can see Thursday 29th, May 25, blah blah blah, all these things. You can change it to how you like. Me personally, like I said, I'm gonna show my settings after. Just pick out what you like, and keep the time in 24 hours. It's very important that you do. You absolutely do not want to have it in 12 hours. Always keep it in military time, because you do not want to get confused for even a second. Doesn't matter what time zone you are in. Canvas, this is just your background. I keep saying bro, what am I doing, bro? I'm literally like a dummy out here. I gotta have my water, bro. Hydration break, guys. Background, you can do a gradient or a solid. I prefer solid because you can actually see properly, but you can do white, black, whatever. Let's just do a gray for now, just so we can see everything kind of clearly. Perfect. And grid lines, you don't need grid lines. Get rid of those, bro. Unless you like them. If you like grid lines, keep them. That's fine. Like I said, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. Let's just, here, you know what? Let's just do like this symbol, and let's make these borders black. And let's make the wicks both black. Just, yeah, there we go. That looks a lot better. That's fine. That's fine. And then we'll go back real quick. Your crosshair is, like I said, literally crosshair. You can have it as black. You can create the dotted lines. It doesn't matter. It's all up to you guys. Watermark. Here's a big one. You want to, this one's completely up to you. Basically, what watermark does is it kind of shows you what pair you're trading. If you ever feel like you get confused between NQ and ES, or if you're trading other types of currencies, it'll always show in the background. Me personally, I only trade 2, and that's what you probably should be doing. Like, especially if you're watching this course, you don't know what you're doing. So I just have the watermark completely turned down to 0% because I'm not trading anything besides NQ and ES. And when I do have NQ and ES, I have NQ on one side and ES on the other, like a split screen. I'll show you guys that later. Your text is obviously text. These margins, just keep them as they are. I kind of just makes the candles like move up and down a little bit. Doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Here's a very important one. Trading. Okay. You want these exact settings, and then right here, you want this to be in ticks. Do not ever have money. Never, 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 never. Always have ticks. Always have ticks. Again, psychology reason. I'll explain that to you guys later. The rest of the settings, just keep them the same. Like I said, I'll go over my settings. Maybe I'll even like edit it in to put it next to the video. I don't know. But yeah, then you have down here, you have some volume. You don't need this. It's an indicator. I'll explain to you guys what that is in a second. You can remove this. So I thought I would interrupt real quick and talk about what an indicator actually is, because I'm sure a lot of you have heard of indicators before, and essentially all it is it's a substitute for your brain on the chart. So you see that volume indicator, how when the volume goes crazy, the candles move crazy. All it's telling you is that it's showing you what's happening on the chart without marking things out. And it does it for you. But I don't want you guys using indicators right now because it's just going to mess you up in the long run. It's like me telling you, hey, I want you to go submit a project to your school but like you're obviously going to go use AI to do it, but I want you to present it after. How you're supposed to present it if you don't know what it is and you just let AI do all the work? You know what? You got to know it first, and then once you know, you're like, all right, I have a pretty good idea of what it is. Let me use AI to do it. And then you check it over. You're like, all right, that makes sense. I can go submit, not only submit it, but I can present it. I want you guys to present, to trade yourself, so actually do it yourself. Because if you just use an indicator, you might as well go and fucking leave this course and go fucking buy a signal Discord or fucking Telegram, whatever the fuck, bro. But everyone knows that shit doesn't work in the long run. If you'd rather just learn the skill yourself, that's what I'm teaching you here. Don't use indicators. Wash it out your mind. Do everything yourself until you're comfortable with it working on its own, and then you can use indicator. I don't even use that many indicators, bro. I have like kind of a control issue. Not really control issues, but it's like if I don't do it myself, I won't feel like it's done right. Or at least if I checked it over. Like I gotta know, because it's a part of my life. The more control I have over it, the more better I feel about it. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So basically, indicators are, whatever. Forget about them for now. And let's move on. Yes, sir. Click on it, remove it, boom, gone, done. Okay, so would you look at that? It's not even like what, 10 minutes into the video where we have the charts looking like majestic as hell. Oh, actually, you can't even see the, wait, that's a bad thing. Where is my, I can't. Yeah, you can't see the price. So that's the thing about text, right? I actually had the text color set the exact same as, let's make it black. You should probably make the text black, actually. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, now you can see the price and everything. And then I'm just going to drag this all the way to the right because we don't really need to be looking at our pairs right now. We just need to be worried about the chart settings. Boom. Now this looks absolutely beautiful. The next thing you want to go and do after that is head over to the trading panel, click on paper trading and connect. So now you have like a fake paper trading account. It'll be like your practice account, simulation, how like people say, oh, there's like a simulation website where you can like go and practice trading. This is your simulation bank account. So I think it'll automatically give you $100,000. So just, there you go. Don't take any trades though, right? You obviously have to learn how to trade first. So also one last thing about the chart itself, this little guy up here, market open data is delayed. So since you guys are opening up brand new accounts, your data is going to be delayed by 10 minutes, but that doesn't matter because once you do get real-time data is when you'll actually be trading real money or like funded capital. And by then you would have bought a funded account, which by then the funded account would have given you the data. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be like 10 minutes delayed, but it doesn't matter since you're trading paper money. It doesn't matter. Anyways, let's talk about our charting tools because now we have the chart, but like how are we going to put our lines and bars and graphs and boxes and whatnot? That's when you have to come up here, right? And I'll just pull up mine right now just to save some time. I have long position, short position, vertical line, horizontal ray, rectangle, brush, path, GAN box, price range, trend line, fib retracement, text, circle, and highlighter. You can pause and get all those if you want. I'll show you guys how to add them to your toolbar. So you go over here. So let's say I have the trend line. You press favorite. That's it. Horizontal ray, vertical line. You can go ahead and play around with these, see what they do, and go in the settings and stuff. It's really nice. You can also like move them around, move around your chart. So now I can take it, move it around, blah, blah, blah. Cool. I just press delete and I delete it. I'm not going to go over each and every single one, but I will go over the ones that I use and the settings behind them, right? So I'm just going to do it on my chart because I don't want to have to go through setting the settings for each one. Oh, hello Discord. Here we go. So I will explain each one. So one of the most important ones is a long position tool and the short position tool, which is basically what that means is that when you take a trade, you're either going to be going long or short. And the thing about futures trading is that it's not like stocks. It's not like oh, if it goes down, you lose money. No, 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 no. You can do something called short, and if it goes down, you'll actually make money, right? So let's just say I want to go long right now, and I set my stop loss over here. Boom, it's gonna go long, right? I entered the trade right here, and then that's it. Same thing with short, right? Short position tool. Boom, going short. That's what it does. It's kind of cool. I'll show you guys the settings for each one and explain the settings. So this one right here, the long position tool, just copy these exact settings for now. I'll explain. You're not going to be really using them until later, and I'll explain to you more in depth. Here's the color. If you guys want to use the colors coordinated with your candles, you can do that, because I use gray and blue, obviously, because white and blue, right? So, target color, stop loss color, the lines, it's all here. Same thing with the short. Set the exact same settings. Yep, that's fine. Then you have your vertical line. So just so you guys know, when you guys make these adjustments and changes and you want like a shortcut or a template, you go ahead and make the changes that you want. So I have this one that's orange and doesn't have any text, and I save it as orange folder in case it's orange folder news, which again I'll get into later. So, and then you press save as, right? And you type like orange folder, blah, 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 whatever, it doesn't matter. And then the next thing you pull out the tool, you can just right click it, go to template, and it'll automatically reserve the previous settings. Then you have your, horizontal array, and just a line. That's fine. You can, obviously change the settings on there too. One thing as well, when you are charting your tools out, there's something called the magnet. It's very useful. Normally the magnet is off, but if you hold, I believe, control, if you hold control while you're holding a tool, it'll automatically latch onto the closest candle, which is like the most useful thing ever, right? I'm holding control. No, I'm not, right? So if I want to like find the exact pinpoint, I can just boom, right? And you can press delete, whatever. Same thing with like the short position tool. It's like, oh, I'm holding control. Now I can short right here. Like boom, that's an example. Same thing with the box, right? I'm holding control. If I don't hold control, it'll look like this. You guys get it. You guys get the magnet now, right? We'll worry about the settings later. I'm just like going over what each tool does. Line highlighter, whatever. Path tool. You don't need this one actually. I just use it because I like teaching with it. Gan box is literally just kind of, it shows me exact percentages. That's how I have mine set up anyway. Like I said, I'm not really going to get into too deep of anything. This is just a price range to show how many points are in between, blah, blah, blah. Trend line, one of the most important ones. Fibonacci, you don't really need that right now, actually. Text, you don't need that. Circle, you don't need that unless you want to like circle things out. I just use it for teaching, right? And then highlighter, it's just the exact same thing as a marker, except less defined. Cool. Those are all the tools. You can add whatever you want to your favorites, experiment, play around. That's all for you to do. Now let's go over some really important stuff, actually. Up here, okay? This is time frames. Just mark out the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. Nothing else. Don't worry about the other stuff that I have. Just click up here and favorite each one. And for this, just do candles. Don't do anything else. Favorite the candles. All right. And that's it. That's literally all the settings that you guys need. I'm going to be going over my specific settings right now. If you want to copy and paste them and then go off of that and try to, frame your, why are we going up so much, bro? It's only been like, that's crazy. If you want to kind of like build off of what I have, I'll go over my settings right now. You guys can feel free to take screenshots, pause the video, whatever. So my settings, I like my settings. They're pretty good. Here we go. Trading settings. Well, I have mine on money right now because I was recording some content, but I'm gonna switch it back to ticks. There we go. Alert lines. These don't matter. That's fine. And then down here is also this little sneaky settings down here. You guys should probably change that as well. You got all this. You got labels, lines, session, and then more setting. That's the same thing. But yeah, those are all the settings that I have for TradingView. Get your settings set up. Make sure you have the pair NQ and ES. Oh, I have a bunch of shit, but you don't need to be worrying about that. Just NQ and ES. That's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video where we're actually gonna learn how to trade. Let's get it, baby.